All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. We're good. It's on most people's bucket list. It's on the cover of National Geographic, and it holds the title as the world's largest mountain. Mount Everest is located in the Himalayas between China and Nepal, and it is known as one of the world's hardest climbs, yet every year people venture to this dangerous expedition. Today I'm going to inform you about the preparation beforehand, the training involved, and the amount of time it takes to climb Mount Everest. First, I will discuss the preparation before climbing. Climbing Everest requires monetary value, skills and resources, and a plan of action. According to Alan Arnett, four-time Everest climber from a respected blog site, published May 21, 2011, there are 3 ways that will increase or decrease the cost of your trip. Despite the amount saved, a climber should expect to pay around $100,000. There are 3 ways. The first one is a guided commercial expedition with a Sherpa. A Sherpa is a member of people who live in the Himalayas and are known for their ability to carry large loads and have knowledge of the mountains. They are hired by climbers to carry their equipment. They are not required but are highly encouraged. The second option is an unguided commercial expedition, which involves less involvement with the Sherpa and guidance while in the mountains. And the third option, which is not encouraged but has proven to be successful, is a climber that can organize his or her own expedition. Now, besides the cost for the journey, there is also expenses with the cost of equipment. The strategy is to base on lots of layers. This includes a long-handled ice axe, harness, carabiner, and crampons, which are highly recommended. Also, it's encouraged to use O2 cans. It is recommended that a climber should use O2 once they reach above 25,000 feet. Mount Everest is 30,000 feet tall, so it is recommended that you then use oxygen. A climber should use 5 to 7 3-liter bottles of oxygen. Stephen Regional published an article in National Geographic that was called Everest Climbing Gear, which stated that in 1953, the expedition that climbers carried were around 44 pounds each, but today it's around half that load due to advancements in gear. Planning is also a key factor when preparing for the climb. A climber must plan the route. There are 2 different routes that provide guidance. The first one is the north, which I have as my visual aid. The north route. And the second one is the south route. The south route is in Nepal, and the north route is in China. The north route costs $10,000 to climb, or $8,000 to climb, and then south costs $10,000. Despite the monetary difference, most climbers choose the more expensive, which is the south, due to less government through the Chinese government. So therefore, it's more common for them to take the south versus the north. According to the Himalayan database, as of February 2014, there had been 4,416 ascents on the south versus 2,455 on the north. Now that we have discussed the costs and preparation, we'll cover the training involved. According to Christy DeGaris and Dee O'Connell from the Pulitzer Prize winner The Guardian, a climber should run, they should train, and they should take supplements a year before their climb. It is also advised to gain weight, as it is known that climbers lose around 20% of their body mass while in Mount Everest. According to B.C. Nelson, a reputable expedition guide, they state that physical conditioning should be approached on 3 fronts. The first one being cardiovascular conditioning, the second strength training, and the third mental training. Cited previously, the 4-time climber notes that it helps to also train by increasing your altitude. Increasing the amount of altitude every single day allows the body to adapt. Once the climber has logistics figured out, it is now time for he or she to begin their expedition. There are also factors that can halt their experience. If the weather fluctuates, then it is advised to not climb. However, if the weather is mild 4 to 5 days, then they should continue. According to the New Zealand Herald newspaper published April 23, 2014, by Marilyn McClown, the temperature of Everest never goes above freezing point. It averages -2 in the summer and -32 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. It's important that the climber feels comfortable and listens to his or her body. Previously cited Garris and O'Connell state that altitude sickness is one of the primary concerns of mountaineers. A person's appetite will decrease when the altitude increases. This results in a climber becoming weak and lacking the energy needed for their climb. Now, clearly Mount Everest is no walk in the park, as 243 climbers have died in the journey since 1924. However, there have been more than 6,500 people who have summited the climb, which proves that it is possible and attainable for the most determined. Today, I've informed you on the preparation required to climb, the training involved, and the amount of time it takes to climb Everest. Now you know the details of climbing Everest and the amount of time, money, and training climbers need to be prepared for this expedition, and someday you may be able to cross this off your bucket list.